So I just finished a $4.50 DoorDash shift, driving basically the same hours in the same marketplace as yesterday. I was pretty much just as busy, but I made less money. Why? Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to your success in the gig economy, the side hustle. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And a quick invite to check out yourdrivermike.com, the only site built to teach you what actually works so you can make more money on your next shift. Just to set your expectations here, I'm coming to you from San Diego and I drove in the Mission Valley market segment. And today I drove on a $4.50 per delivery bonus. The same times as yesterday, basically. I drove 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. So it's another quick shift, but really the big thing, yesterday I had a $3 per delivery bonus. And today, again, it's $4.50. So let's go into this shift together because there's things that confirmed my strategies from yesterday. I won't go into every strategy from yesterday, but let's look at order number one here. This is from Sonic, $8.25 for 3.6 miles. The big thing I talk about is that dollars to mile ratio, how much you're getting paid for the miles driven. So for this one, it's pretty strong. It's $2.29 paid out per mile. Now that's excellent. $1 is a so-so. $1.50 is really where you want to be for this. And then $2 plus per mile is pretty good. So I'm going to accept this one all the time. And you can see how close I am already to the restaurant. So here's finding number one. And let me know down below in the comments if you see the same thing happen here. So pickups at drive-thrus. This has mainly just been this Sonic, I think a lot of Sonics, but if you have to do the pickup at a drive-thru, for instance, if you have a pickup and it's after hours, it's later at night, and it's from a fast food place, the indoor dining typically is going to be closed at that point. So there's another good example of when you'll have to go through the drive-thru. So I did that, but there was the delay that comes with drive-thru orders. Now, I don't have to place it myself because this wasn't a red card order, but there was just that line of vehicles. So consider that. Number one, if you're at a restaurant that for whatever reason, you have to pick up at the drive-thru. Either it's after hours or that's just how they do that. Just like a red card order, you may have delays going through that drive-thru. Now, I actually got this stacked order next. It's for an additional $11, which is really good. And let's look at the miles though. It's 7 additional miles. Now this one took me a second to decide on. Actually, let me know on this one as well. Would you take this stacked order for $11 for an additional 7 miles? Well, I took this one and I'm not doing the actual math on the dollars to mile ratio when I'm out on the road. I just kind of estimate, right? So if we actually calculate it, for this one, it's $1.57 per mile. So I am happy with that. That's, again, it's fitting in the threshold that I want you to look for, and it's pretty good. It's not exceptional like the first order, so that's probably why it took me a little bit longer. So this monster order from 7-Eleven is a massive $21 for 5 miles. Now this is something that I've been noticing. I mentioned this in another video, and that's showing stacked orders like this. It's just one screen because traditionally a stacked order is going to look like this. It's going to say, hey, here's order number one. And then there's typically a slight delay as the other request comes through. And then you get request number two. But sometimes I'm guessing if the Dasher app just knows, hey, we have a lot of orders from this restaurant, or in this case, 7-Eleven, they just throw both of them actually at once. So it's actually 2 orders for the $21, but that is still very good. And actually, let's do the math on that quickly here. That's $4.20 per mile. Quick timeout. I'm thinking your question is how? Like, how do you get an order like this? $21 for just 5 miles. It's an easy pickup. It's 7-Eleven, right? You just go inside and it's a stacked order. So how? I will honestly chalk up orders like this to 75% straight luck. Yeah, an order like this, not only is it number one, pretty rare, but I mean, come on, I don't see orders like this often. So 75% is luck, but the other 25%, I think there's some things you can do to encourage this. I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, so do make sure to watch that video after this one. But the positioning, it's being in an area with obviously a lot of restaurants, right? But hopefully by restaurants, or I guess convenience stores, that get a ton of orders. So if they're swamped with orders, DoorDash is gonna say, hey, we have a ton of orders, we can only assign so many drivers, so they're gonna push stacked orders. But as far as the pay, I mean, that is a lot of luck. It's the peak pay bonus. And then again, with DoorDash's algorithm, the desirability also goes into the pay algorithm. That's actually a part of their policy as well. So it could be a part of that. So the takeaway for this shift, because it was still a good shift, is really the cornerstones of this drive in its positioning and then using hotspots. Because this order here, $11.50, another great order, and some of that, again, it's the peak pay. And then the other part of it was I knew that plaza, which was really across the street from where I finished an order, which is ideal, but I knew that plaza gets a lot of orders. And I'm thinking it wasn't even marked as a hotspot at the time, which is massive. Lean in for this one, because what I did is the market knowledge that I had, I knew that, hey, this plaza across the street, I mean, come on, it's across the street, I don't have to drive anywhere, but I knew that there was a good amount of restaurants that get orders. And it doesn't even matter if it's not marked as a hotspot currently. So I was happy with that one and the strategy around it, and even the ending destination. That was a great ending order for me. So now let's go over the numbers, explain a little bit on why my hourly was a little bit less than yesterday. So again, the shift tonight, 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. So just to put it in a little bit of perspective here, yesterday I earned $66.75 for that short shift. Well, tonight, $51.75. And tonight, the gross revenue per hour, $25.88, which again was a little bit less than yesterday, which was $29.67. Tonight, I completed 5 deliveries, received 4 tips, with the average tip of $3.25. And the business miles here, pretty good. And that comes from really not having to drive too far away, 22 miles, which equals a tax deduction of $12.65. Okay, so comparing yesterday to today, basically the same duration driven, the same hours of the day, the same marketplace, but the bonuses, it was actually, again, it was higher today. So why did I earn less? Well, number one, I completed 1 less delivery than yesterday. So those delays, especially if you have multiple delays, they do add up, causing you to do less deliveries per hour. What can also contribute to that, and this is where I really want you to pay attention to your specific marketplace, is the driver saturation. Now, I'm not saying that the Mission Valley segment was saturated today. In fact, I could really go online using the Dash Now feature, even on the $4.50 bonus, which theoretically means that DoorDash, of course, they still need drivers, even on that $4.50 bonus. But of course, let's not ignore the fact that these higher bonuses do bring in more drivers. Now, number 2, just again, comparing today with yesterday, the tips received. So yesterday, when I completed 6 deliveries, I got 6 tips. And today I did not only 5 deliveries, but I received 4 tips. And the average tip was higher yesterday, but that was really due to a large $10 tip. So think, are there certain marketplaces that generally tip better? You probably have a few that came to mind there. Is there anything that you can be doing as far as service to increase the service to the customer to hopefully increase tips? So number 1, I want you to minimize delays at drive-thrus. So that doesn't even have to be a red card order. Remember, if you just have to do a pickup at a restaurant and it says it's a place that you know you have to go through the drive-thru, consider that. Number 2, and this is something that I talked about in yet another video, actually leave that one linked above now, is looking at the peak pay. And that I really encourage you to draft up some kind of Excel sheet, look at your data and say, Well, does higher peak pay truly translate to more gross revenue per hour? And this even confirms that data, as my data has shown that almost these smaller bonuses are more worth it than larger bonuses. Now, $450 here, that's kind of a mid-level high bonus here for San Diego. So my theory is, as the peak pay increases, the gross revenue per hour may decrease. So very important. I want you to run your numbers on that and really look into what the numbers are telling you. So if you got value in this video, definitely leave a like and make sure to take advantage of your drivermike.com. The pricing on that will go up as more content is added. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to stock up on the very best accessories for your side hustle. Visit my Amazon storefront, also linked below. You can click or tap the screen now for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you, and I'll see you in the next one.